How y'all doing today? So, I am in Phoenix right now. Well, they just finished fixing my windshield thing I posted about. So, that's done. And I don't have a load yet. Probably not going to get a load back to Salt Lake City. I'll explain later. But I figured I'd do a little video. I was thinking last night, actually overheard some people talking about like things that you like learn when you start trucking. So I figured, why not do a video on some things that you either learn or realize within the first year of trucking. Really, the first couple of months. Because after that, you start to get in a groove and you start to figure out how things work. But at first, it's kind of crazy becoming a truck driver. Especially if you don't know anybody that is in trucking and have talked to them before, it's going to seem like a whole nother world, because it really is. So anyway, so the first thing that you might learn about trucking is that CDL school is basically a scam. They're going to charge you a bunch of money. It's bright. I'm going to put my things on. My things. They're going to charge you a bunch of money, anywhere from like $9 grand and up. It might be a little cheaper in some places. I don't know. But yeah, they charge you a bunch of money to basically just teach you nothing. They're going to teach you nothing. So you're going to learn to back a little bit, and you probably will back a little bit. And you'll drive around the block a few times, and you'll learn some of the DOT rules and how to run E-logs. They're really the only thing you're going to learn thoroughly is a pre-trip. To learn to do a pre-trip and to just skate by the CDL test. That's the only thing you're going to do. So, you know, it's just a lot of money to learn some stuff that you could just learn off of YouTube and then be able to get into a truck. That's a little different, you know, but they don't teach you enough, is my point. But yeah. Now, some of you might not have to pay for that if you go through a company that trains for CDL training, like CR England, or I think Heartland Express does it. We have student drivers right over there. But you'll probably be locked into a contract with that company so that you don't pay that back. You're not going to make that much money if you're doing that. So, something to think about. Number 2, you are going to look like an idiot in front of everybody for a few months, and you just got to be okay with that. You're not going to know how to drive that well. You're definitely not going to know how to back that well, especially in truck stops. That's usually where it comes out. You could be at a truck stop at like 5 or 6 p.m. and you'll know the new guys, because it'll take them forever to get into a parking spot, and everybody's laughing at them, except if it's a woman. If it's a woman, a female driver, then nobody's laughing. You're going to have like 17 guys all sprinkled outside of your truck trying to tell you how to get in because they want to help because you're a lady. Don't listen to them. They don't know what they're doing either. They don't know. You are in charge of your truck. Don't listen to anybody else telling you where to go or what to do. Something just fell down and I don't know what it was. Anyway, but yeah, you're just going to look stupid. You're going to miss exits, and you're going to be driving slow, looking and trying to figure out where to go until you're used to where you're going. You're going to ride the middle lane or the left lane because you're used to being in a car. You need to be over in the right lane as much as you can. But honestly, the middle lane is kind of the safe spot. That way you don't have to deal with mergers. I can talk about I'll make a whole video about mergers and how stupid they are. Moving on. Number 3. You can't make that right turn. Don't try it. You can't make the right turn. If you're questioning it, you can't make it. Number 4, you'll learn why Jake brakes exist real fast, or you'll die. So, chances are a lot of people go to CDL school, and then, you know, the Jake brake, they've never heard of that before. You know, you might be a country boy, your dad might be a trucker or something like that, and you've heard of it. But most people have no idea that semis have an engine brake that also acts as a way to slow the truck down so you don't have to use your brakes. So obviously you're going downhill, You use the engine brake as much as you can so that you save your brakes. Well, again, I'm telling you, no, even people that have been driving still burn their freaking brakes out because they just, oh, I don't need a Jake brake, or they are in the wrong gear or something like that, which is also why I advocate for automatics. Going down a hill in an automatic is leagues easier than in a manual. And I can drive a manual pretty damn well, but it's just easier in automatic as long as you're not going too damn fast. But the Jake brakes in automatics, they tend to be a little bit stronger. That's the word I was looking for. But yeah, you'll learn real fast why they exist, and you will learn to use them, or you're never going to drive again because you're going to be dead. So yeah, number 5. You'll learn why the letters D, O, and T are the devil, Bobby Boucher. They're the devil. Everybody hates the DOT, Department of Transportation, because they are dicks. They love to be dicks. It's their favorite pastime. Oh, here comes a trucker. Let's just pull out the clipboard and find something to write on it and give him a ticket. I've only gotten one ticket from the DOT ever. And it was actually not too long ago. I was doing heavy haul. And heavy haul trailers have a tag axle. It's axle that goes up and down on a trailer. And the button was in the truck. I hit the button to get it to go down. But I went and got fuel, and somebody was sitting in the fuel islands. I can mention that later if I remember. They would not move. Now to back up with a tag axle, you have to pull the axle back up because it'll break if you don't. For some reason they build it like that, which makes no sense. So you had to put it up. I backed up, and I forgot to put it back down when I left. So I was going across the scale in Oregon, and honest mistake, I pulled across the scale, and he's like, I got a sign that said, pull back around and scale again. In any other state, when you pull off the scale to go rescale, you adjust, if you see that your weight's off, you can readjust. In Oregon, apparently that's a misdemeanor. So I readjusted and put my tag axle down, went back across, and the guy came out basically yelling at me. He's like, "What did that sign say?" Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I tell him what it said, and he's like getting mad at me. "You're not supposed to readjust it, blah, blah, blah." I was like, okay. I've never heard of that before, but fine. So I got a ticket for not using my tag axle. You dick. Like, all you had to do was let me put it down and I'm legal and good. It's like, why be a douche? But yeah, you'll learn. And there's a reason everybody avoids way stations. There's a reason everybody avoids parking near way stations. DOT will find something wrong with your truck if they really want to. If they're having a bad day and you go across there and they pull you in for an inspection, you better hope you did a pre-trip for 35 minutes that morning because they're going to find something. It's annoying. Moving on. Number 6. You will realize that most truckers are full of shit. Even I'm full of shit sometimes. No, I try to be as honest as possible with everything. I don't have the energy for lying. Sweet tea today. But yeah. So there's a specific example, and this happens a lot. But on YouTube right now, there's a viral trucker going around. I think his name's Robert. And I got nothing against the guy, but a lot of the stuff he says is just insufferable. Like, what was it? It was like, what do you think about these guys that don't want to drive more than 300-400 miles a day? They got soft hands. Look, I appreciate your sentiment, but having a work fetish does not make you better than somebody else. Look, I can do 700 miles in a day because that's as fast as my truck will go. If I don't have traffic, I can go that far. I can hit 700 miles in a day if I need to. My current route only requires me to drive like 350 to 400 miles a day. So that's what I do. Why would I push it if I'm making my money? And I'm not going to make more money if I drive 600-700 miles a day. But when I was cross country, I routinely drove 600 miles a day. The problem with that is, if you're on the 8-day clock, you're 70 hour. If you're driving 600 miles a day, you're going to hit that 8th day and have to sit there because you will run your 70 out and you got to do a 34. Don't do it. Pace yourself. 350 to 400 is the sweet spot. You'll never have to do a 34-hour reset if you run 350 to 400 per day. I guarantee you. But a lot of truckers will just talk just junk about everything that they do, how they do things, and if you don't do it exactly how they do it, then you're wrong. If you're not driving a manual truck, 21 speed, you're not a real trucker, you're a steering wheel holder. Shut the hell up. All you old school weirdos and all you young guys that glorify these guys that just talk trash to young drivers. I can't stand it. Look, I'm new to the whole, well, I'm not new. I've been doing this for 6 years, but I have 16 years of driving experience. Learned in the Army. I was driving in the mountains of Afghanistan and in the deserts of Iraq through war zones. I know how to drive. Just because I look young doesn't mean you need to talk trash because you're standing there with freaking throat cancer, smoking 25,000 cigarettes every day. We drove 1,700 miles a night. No, the hell you did not drive 1,700 miles a night, Robert. Trucks don't go 250 miles an hour, my guy. Anyway, moving on. I'm looking at my list. Number 7. You will not get a shower every day. That one's plain and simple. I mean, some days you could get a shower most days if you really want to. You're probably not going to need a shower every day, but you won't get one every single day. You're going to have to skip a day or two sometimes because you might be out in the middle of freaking nowhere. My route goes from Salt Lake to California. I'm in the middle of the desert most of the time, and if I got to stop, a lot of those places don't have toilets, much less a shower. So, keep baby wipes. Keep baby wipes all the time. Number 8, Atlanta. I don't really need to say much about that. Every trucker knows why Atlanta is trash. It sucks. The traffic's bad. That's about it. Atlanta traffic is worse than Los Angeles. I go to LA all the time. I hated Atlanta every time I went. Do not mind LA. Atlanta sucks. We'll just leave it at that. Atlanta. That's just put that in there for that. Number 9, you will learn to hate four-wheelers. And I'm not talking about ATVs, Polaris, Kawasaki. I don't even remember the names of them. Raptor. Yeah, Raptor, Banshee. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about everything that's not an 18-wheeler. Trucks, cars, those things right over there. Those, these things right over there. Those are four-wheelers because they got 4 wheels. And they contain some of the dumbest pieces of trash on the planet, the rudest pieces of trash on the planet, and some of the I don't know what goes through people's brains when they get beside a truck because they just break out and they don't know what to do, especially when they're merging, as I mentioned before. Because you'll get little Miss Honda right over there merging. She's driving up right beside you and she hasn't looked to see what's coming on the freeway. She doesn't understand that she does not have the right of way. So she gets right there at the merge line and then she looks, it's a truck! And she doesn't know what to do. She's all over the place. Suddenly everybody's hitting the brakes, or she's trying to speed, or she's running off on the shoulder of the freaking road. It's ridiculous. That's the main reason I hate them. But they are rude. I've had people flip me off for no reason. I've had people brake check me for no reason. I've had people try to scoot by me as I'm backing up, which is the dumbest thing on the planet. It's just, you'll hate them. You'll hate everybody in a car. It doesn't matter who they are. It could be the president of the United States. You're looking over there, you little piece of trash, you little monkey nuts. Hate them. Can't stand them. Four-wheelers. Number 10. You will be addicted to caffeine. I've always got a Monster or coffee or something. That's been a thing forever. Even old school truckers always do no-dose pills, the caffeine pills. Coffee pills, stuff like that. That we need it. You need it. I don't typically need it that much because again, I don't drive more than 350 to 400 miles a day. So typically, I might not even need any caffeine. I'll be tired at the end of the day and be like, "Why am I tired? Why ain't drinking caffeine?" Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, you get used to caffeine. You're gonna need it. If you're Mormon, I'm sorry, man. If you're Mormon, don't be a trucker because you will break the rules. All right, I live in Utah. I should have been making more Mormon jokes by now. Number 11. This kind of piggybacks off the four-wheeler thing. Number 11. Nobody likes you. For some reason, especially on the internet, everybody hates truckers. And it's because I get it. We're big, we're slow, But for some reason, everybody online, especially, they're like, truckers think they own the road. Yeah, we do own the road, you dumbass. The roads were specifically made for 2 reasons: to transport goods across the country as efficiently and quickly as possible because the rail system was too slow, That means truckers, and to transport military across the country in case they needed it. That's what the roads are for. We literally do own the roads. If you're a non-trucker and you're hearing me say this, let it stick in your brain. We literally own the road. You need to move out of our way, not we need to move out of your way. You got it? Okay, cool. Everybody should learn this. Truckers do own the road. That's our space. That's our home. That's where we live. That's where we eat and breathe. It's on the road. That is what is that's our realm. You know, you are just there. Now, we try to be nice, but everybody, for some reason, every day you're going to get essentially an asshole that just wants to just be a douchebag. They're going to cut you off. They're going to slam on the brakes. They're going to flip you off. They're going to talk trash. They're going to look at you like you don't belong there. But hey, guess what? Take solace in the fact that if you didn't exist and you weren't in that truck, they wouldn't even be driving that car. They wouldn't have clothes. They wouldn't have food. They would have nothing. Too many people do not realize how important truckers really are. But that's a whole nother video too. Boom. I've done one like that. I did one like that before. It was years ago. Number 12. Say goodbye to most of your hobbies. You'll probably pick up a couple of new hobbies. Maybe you'll start crocheting. I don't know. But I'm a big outdoorsman. I like to paddleboard and hike and camp. And that I don't get to do that as much anymore. I haven't gone camping one time this year at all. I've gone on a few hikes. I've gone paddleboarding a couple times. Snowboarding, again, that's another hobby of mine. Haven't been able to do that very much. I'm working all the time. As a trucker, you will work all the time. It really does consume your life for the most part. There's no work from home when you're a trucker. You know, most of the time you're not home. A lot of us are over the road. Even if you're home every day, you're tired, you've already worked 14, 15 hours, you want to sit down, you want to eat, you want to chill. So you're not going to do a lot of the stuff that you might be used to doing, except TV. I mean, you don't have internet in most trucks. You can, there's ways to do it, get internet, but I don't really watch TV as much on the TV. On my phone or like my laptop that has a 5G connection, I can watch TV, but basically I still play video games. That's what I have. That's my hobby on the road is video games. That's it. When I'm home, I do my other stuff, but that's only like 1 to 2 days at a time. But yeah, no more hobbies. Sorry, if you're a hobby kind of person, especially like that, unless you can do it in a truck, you know, then maybe this ain't for you. And the last one, number 13, is the biggie. A lot of people know that there's a lot of money in trucking, but in your first year, you're not gonna make good money. You're not gonna make good money. You don't have experience to be demanding a high paycheck. You're typically gonna make about $50,000. That's it. You know, that's not a terrible income. You know, 5 years ago that was a good income. It's not a bad income now. It can get you by. But if you're getting in a truck and expecting 200 grand, sorry, that ain't gonna happen. $100,000 job in trucking is also kind of rare now. It used to not be, unless you're being worked to the bone. You know, you can make $100,000 doing food service, or you can get lucky and find like a local company, like a fuel hauler job. Hazmat pays a lot. That kind of stuff. Yeah, you can find high-paying jobs, but most truckers, and I feel like a lot of people are still in denial about this. Most truckers still only make $50,000. That's what most truckers make. That's the average. So, yeah, you're not going to make a lot of money doing this. Yeah, you can start your own company, or you think you can lease. You should not lease. That's a bad idea. But you could probably start your own company, make some money. You demand your freight, get high pay rates, but you got to remember, there was I saw something that it was like 1,900 or 3,000 trucking companies were started like last year, and 2/3 of them already went out of business because they weren't making enough money to run that business. Running a truck is very expensive. That's why I'm a company driver. That windshield that just got broken probably would have cost like $1,000 freaking dollars if I had owned this truck. I didn't have to pay for that. I just came here and they fixed it. Boom. Things to consider. I just gave myself like 4 more videos I could do. But it's time to look for some lunch. Closing remarks. I got none. Whatever. Tomorrow I am flying out of Phoenix. I have to leave the truck here because I'm going to be off for too many days for me to leave it in an unsecure lot. So I'm leaving the truck here in Phoenix, flying out, going back home to Salt Lake, and then I'm flying to Seattle to see Metallica for 2 days with Pantera and Five Finger Death Punch. They suck. I don't like them. But anyway, Metallica. I don't have a bucket list, but that's on the bucket list is Metallica. WrestleMania is another one. I don't know if I'll ever get to do that because it's like $2,000 just for tickets. But hey, we'll see. Maybe one day. I am gonna go find food and spend the rest of my day here playing video games. Have a good one.